This is the MMA Takes Podcast. With your host, Brian Petrie.
All right. Oh, yes. We're on video again. I keep forgetting we're on video. I gotta look at the fucking camera. Listen, I'm gonna straight be honest with you guys. I'm overlooking this card. It took me a little bit. I know I told you guys I want to stay more consistent. I wanted to put everything on a Wednesday, blah, blah, blah. I'm recording on a Wednesday, so I got to edit the video, and I'm going to put it out tonight. Anyway, try to be more consistent is what I'm trying to do. I want to release it on certain days. But it took me a little bit to get up on this card, if I'm being honest with you. It's not that it's a bad card. It's just next week is so fucking fire. It's so good next week. Yeah, 3 title fights, great. Izzy, my guy, yes. I think the best fight in the card is Aljamain Sterling and Petrie. I mean, literally, that might be the best fight in the card. However, I'm overlooking this card a little bit, and rightfully so, because next week's so fucking jam-packed. But we got it done. It was a tough one for me. I'm going to be honest with you. If you're listening to this, because I'm always honest with you guys, I have some plays, but I'm not anywhere above 80% confident. There's only one fighter, maybe 2, that I'm really behind here. And this could be a good week. Because sometimes when you're feeling it and you're confident as fuck, you might not hit, right? This is the way of the world. Last week I was very confident. I went 5-7 on my picks, right? Lost my slime ball. I'm not a pro handicapper. I never claimed to be. I've been in the game for a while, though. I know fights. I can pick fights. I don't know if I'd ever want to be a pro handicapper. I just feel like that'd be too much pressure. I would feel like I would always like to keep my job. I mean, doing the podcast and getting paid for ads would be one thing, but like only solely making your money on gambling, I don't know if that life is for me. But again, transparency here. I'm not confident in a lot of these picks. There's a couple fights where I'm like seeing it. I mean, we're obviously going to get into it, but there's like fights where I'm seeing it completely different than other people. And that might be a good thing. That might be a bad thing. I don't know. But I'm always upfront and honest with you guys. And that's what I'm telling you, right? You might want to go to someone else this week. Keep listening, but maybe don't tail me this week because, again, I'm not overly confident. But again, in the gambling world, that could be a fucking good thing. It could be a good thing. We don't know. Yeah, listen, welcome to the MMA Takes Podcast. What a fucking intro. I had a bunch of shit at work today. I was thinking about what I'm going to start the podcast with. Usually I don't like jumping right into fights. But I'm just drawing a blank on what I have conversations in my head throughout the day. Oh, start the podcast with that. Oh, that's good. I don't write much down. Yeah, do that. Say that. This is a good topic to bring up. Just go on that. I don't really have anything, right? I don't know. Well, the one thing I guess, this is something I was going to bring up. So again, not to overshadow this week, but let's be honest. Next week is absolute fucking banger of a card. My guy Izzy Adesanya is fighting. I went the most units I ever have in my life on Kamaru Usman last week. Or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And I was sweating through my shirt when he got clipped within like the first 10 seconds. A little nerve-wracking. And then I went ballistic when he won, obviously. And he was almost a 3-1 favorite. So I risked a lot not to get a lot. You know what I mean? Essentially. But it paid off. It paid off for me. So this week, this week, yeah. For next week, though, it's been stuck in my head. And I can't get it the fuck out. Of going bigger on Izzy. I can't get it out. Let's full transparency here. I don't like to talk about units or money or whatever. Everyone's unit's different. I've been gambling now for 4 or 5 years, steadily. I mean, I had done it in the past a while ago, but 4 or 5 years is like a steady thing. And I know the new thing on MMA Twitter is you show your bet slips, you show that. I think that's a little gauche. I don't really like doing that much. My money's my money. I'm a little bit old school that way. However, let's get real. Okay. I started off with my units being $10. Then they bumped up to 20. Then they were between 40 and 60 for the longest time. For years, they were $40 and $60. I think I would say 40 was my unit if I was in a unit, but a lot of the times it would be 60 and I would still call it a unit. I wouldn't call it like 1.2 units. And now we're at a flat $100. $100 is what we're at. I've been there for a little over a year now. I was thinking about bumping it up a little bit, but I'm happy with being at $100 for a unit. So, I'm thinking about going a G. 10 units on Izzy. I just listen. I watched Jan's fights this week. When I go to bed, usually I go to like I'll stroll Wikipedia and we read some bullshit on fucking Genghis Khan or whatever, like kind of slow the brain down. This week I've been watching fights. I've been watching fights and I watched all of Jan's fights, and he's incredibly powerful. He's big. And, and I can see him clinching up Izzy. Izzy's not adding too much size for 205. He's staying, I mean, he cuts weight for 85, so he's just essentially not going to cut weight. I think Izzy is stronger and bigger than people give him credit for, but obviously Jan Blachowicz is a well put together boy. That legendary Polish power, but I've seen him get exposed. I know he's gotten a lot better. I feel like the Dom Reyes fight, he was a huge underdog. I obviously picked against him, but Dom Reyes just didn't show up. Dom Reyes was like, hey, I just almost beat John Jones. I'm going to fucking take this strap, whatever. Didn't happen, right? Jan knocked him out. I'm so confident that Izzy's just going to piece him apart. He's going to be too fast, too hard to hit, and he's going to clip Jan coming in with something. Jan's going to have to be offensive and really have to move forward. Jan is a patient fighter. Izzy's more patient, and I just see Jan getting clipped and getting put down. And I want that thrill. I want that fucking thrill that I had kind of with the Kamaru thing. And that's where my head's at. And I've been telling the guys in the group chat, they're all like, well, listen, dude, Timbo, the reigning champ, kind of is leaning Jan by KO at plus whatever, 400 or something like that. And I told you, better not. Don't do it. Don't go against me, dude. Guys at work, that's a fucking lot of money. I don't know, dude. I don't know, but I can't get it out of my fucking head. And I know if I don't do it, I'll regret it. And then if he loses, then I'll really regret it. But I feel like I box my crazy brain into a situation where I have to do it. But I don't know. I can't tell the wifey, about it. I don't know. The problem is here's what it is, right? Is I got a real thrill that Usman was my guy, and it was a really good fight, and it was nerve wracking. I hit whatever like that, and yeah, the money was online, but this is also gambling one money. This wasn't like I took $500 out of my fucking bank account that was supposed to go to groceries and put it on Usman. Like this is money accrued. So it's a little bit different, but I don't know. It's still the rush was like crazy. And I'm a little worried because I'm not I don't have any vices. I don't smoke weed. I've never really done drugs. Not really. I mean, I smoked pot when I was like sophomore in high school, but that was it. I'm a square. I'm a fucking dork. Okay. Okay. I stopped drinking because it just disagreed with my body. So I don't have an affinity for addiction, but I feel like if I put 1,000 up and I get that fucking rush, that might be like a problem. So maybe I shouldn't. All right. I know there was like a million other things I want to fucking start this podcast with. Like, like my grandfather had some stuff happen to him, like great success happened to him. I was gonna talk about that, but I don't know. Seems a little braggy. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Last thing before we get to the fights. This happened today. On my way home from work, and this is 100% my fault. This, some people might listen to this podcast and be like, "Hey, Brian's perfect." You guys at home are like, "This dude's perfect," right? I'm not. Okay, I have flaws. I'm not a nice person all the time. I have a bit of an edge for whatever reason, and sometimes I'm a real asshole. Anyway, okay. I work at a company where we all wear, most people know I work, but since this is on video now and we might be getting new listeners via YouTube, maybe I shouldn't disclose it. Anyway, work at a company where we deliver packages, okay? And we all wear uniforms, right? There's a billion people that work at this place, right? I work in I live in Cincinnati. I work in one of the biggest. It's in downtown Cincinnati. It's the main one. Okay, so I work at a big building with a million different people. So I'm in my truck and I'm sending the wife a text on my way home. I love saying my truck, by the way. I mean, I've had it since August, but dropping my truck, it feels pretty fucking good. So I go up to the stop sign, right? And there's a stop sign in the parking lot. And this guy walks by. I've never seen him before in my life. 1,000 years old, right? He's fat. He's short. He looks like the Penguin. He's wearing a jacket from our company that is 3 to 5 sizes too big for him. But he's walling out. He's coming like across my truck, excuse me. And he looks at me and gives me a wave, and I just kind of look at him, and I'm kind of, at this point, I'm a little spaced out. I go, okay, whatever. I don't know who you are. Don't wave at me. My window's down. And he stares at me, and then all of a sudden I stare at him. I'm like, wait a second, is this old fucking Penguin sizing me up? Like, what's going on here? And then he gives me like another little wave, and I'm like, and I just look at him again, thinking like, I don't know that. In my head, I'm like, I don't know this guy. And he stops before he gets down to like the hill. He's walking down the hill. He stops and gets down the hill, and he stops and he just stands there. He's like, oh, what? I was like, what? And he goes, I was waving to you. And I was like, I don't know you. And he goes, okay. That was it. All I had to do was fucking wave to the guy. That's all I had to do. And I wouldn't. And in the first part, I was a little zoned out. So that was on me. When he re-waved, I could have waved, but I guess I made a choice to be like, nah, you ain't waving this fucking guy. And then he stopped and was like, what's your deal? Like, he wasn't aggressive about it, but I was a complete asshole in that situation. And if I ever see Penguin Man again, I'm going to wave to him. I'll wave to him. I'll make his day. And maybe get him a new jacket because that thing was way too big for him. All right, let's get into the fights. No more fluff. Just no more fluff. All right, first fight of the night. Look at that right on the screen. Justin Jacoby, -192 favorite versus Maxim Grishim. I always say Justin Jacoby. That should be his name. Dustin Jacoby is 13-5, and Maxim Grishim is 31-8-2. This is actually a pretty good fight to kick off tonight, if I'm being honest with you. Justin Jacoby fought in the UFC before, went to kickboxing. Fought in the UFC before, got cut. Probably did some local MMA promotions. Went to kickboxing, had some success, and then is now back in UFC via the Contender Series. Won the Contender Series fight against Tai Flores, which Tai Flores stinks. I mean, this guy was like, just primarily a wrestler, but that fight was brutal. And then he knocked out Justin Ledet in his UFC debut, which was a nice little win. He also got a win over Cody East by decision, which Cody East is a scumbag. He was the one that was looking for the fight. Dana White looking for the fight. I think they signed him from that. And then he like beat his women or kid or something. I don't know. Real piece of shit for that guy. However, decent, okay fighter. And he had a win before his kickboxing, before he hopped on. All right, so we got Maxim Grishim, who debuted in the UFC at heavyweight, fought in the PFL for a while, has some good wins in the PFL. Good striker, pretty well-rounded, bigger guy for the weight class at 205. Lost his UFC debut against Marcin Tybura, who's giant for heavyweight, and then knocked out Gazmad Antagulov, who is complete trash, if we're being honest with ourselves here. The guy's just not good. This scares me a little bit, right? A lot of, I don't know why we're blurry here. Sorry. This is the problem with technology. I mean, we're getting blurry here for no reason. All right. You're throwing me off here. All right, fuck it. Deal with it, blurry. This scares me because a lot of people like Jacoby in this spot. I like Jacoby, but let me get my paper here. Maxim Grishim is a solid dude, and he's the underdog here, and a lot of people like the underdog money. They like chasing underdog money. I'm one of them. I mean, literally, I've nicknamed myself Dog the Bounty Hunter because I like chasing dogs. It's just, I just see Jacoby being a little faster, a little cleaner on the feet. Grishim, I think, has maybe a little bit more power because I do think he's the bigger guy. Grishim, I think, has more ways to win. He is primarily a striker, but I do think he can clinch up, maybe take the fight to the ground. Jacoby, since his kickboxing days, when he's returned to MMA, he hasn't really been tested on the ground yet. We don't know how great his ground game is. His cardio, in my opinion, on the Contender Series could have got put in question a little bit. He should have finished Tai Flores. This is a really tough fight. I'm going to go with Jacoby. I'm going to go with the chalk favorite at minus 192, but I absolutely hate this line. I don't want to add this to a parlay. I don't want to add this to really anything. I don't know if I even bet this straight up with Jacoby being that high. I need a pick here. I'm going to pick him, and it's going to be Justin Jacoby. And I implore you to change your name to Justin Jacoby. That's so much cooler to say. Double J, JJ. Come on, dude. Do I got to help you out with everything? I'm going to go Jacoby here, but I'm not confident in this pick. Like most of my picks, like I addressed at the top of the show, I just think he can pick away at Grishim. He showed really good leg kicks, calf kick against Ledette. Ledette is not good, so take for what you want. I think Maxim Grishim is going to come in. It's going to be a fight. I think this fight should be way closer in the odds. And I wouldn't be surprised if Grishim wins, if I'm being honest with you. So you could fade me in this one, but I'm just going to go with the chalk play. I do think Jacoby's a little bit sharper on his feet, but he's got to go out there. He's got to do it. You know what I mean? Sometimes this guy goes out there and doesn't perform. He's got to go out there and perform. All right, next up, you got Ronnie Lawrence, minus 158 versus Vince Cachero, plus 128. Ronnie Lawrence. I have guys that grew up like to the subdivision or like the neighborhood, I guess, next to me, and they all look like Ronnie Lawrence, right? I don't know they're not wrestlers, but they all just look like him. They got the facial hair like that. They got really bad tattoos, and they look like Ronnie. I don't think Ronnie Lawrence has any tattoos, but every kid that grew up into the neighborhood next to me, which is the worst of the neighborhoods, come at me. It looks exactly like him. Anyway, he's a good wrestler, good grappler, made his Contender Series debut, beat Jose Johnson, which was an okay win. I don't remember if he got the contract or not. I think this might be a call up, but it was a little underwhelming. I did watch the highlights of the fight. I couldn't find the full fight. My ESPN Plus was fucking up on me earlier this week, so I couldn't really find it. But from what I saw in the highlights, it was basically a wrestle fuck and a domination for sure. But I don't know if he got the contract off that. He might have. And the Vince Cachero debuted against Jamal Emmers, which he lost by decision. That was a tough debut. Jamal Emmers, again, Mr. Back Spasms, has a lengthy record and has fought some really good guys. Caceres also fought Casey Kenny, Ludwig Scholan, who's a really solid guy in LFA. He's fought a lot of good guys. So even though he's 7-3, he's a decent prospect with 10 fights, right? He's fought some good guys. Again, I'm going to go chalk. I'm going to go Ronnie Lawrence. When you get a wrestler, it's hard to bet against wrestlers in MMA, and you get a guy who only wants to wrestle. Ronnie Lawrence, I think his stand-up's okay. I think his submission defense is pretty good, but he's going to want to take the fight to the ground. He's going to go to wrestle. Vince Cachero, he had to deal with that against the Emmers fight. Emmers is I believe, a little bit bigger, but at 145 he is bigger. Vince Cachero was up in weight, so this is at his natural weight. So I just think Ronnie Lawrence is just going to be able to wrestle him and take him out of there. I do like the line placement, if I'm being honest with you. Cachero took the fight on short notice, but has some ugly wins against other wrestlers, other style types as Ronnie Lawrence. Ronnie Lawrence, again, coming from Contender Series, didn't blow my dick off. Wasn't fucking world shattering, but it was a solid performance nonetheless. And I just said nonetheless, didn't I? I'm a fucking professional. But yeah, Ronnie Lawrence, I think, is going to win this fight. I think you could probably bet it. I'm fairly confident in betting a grappler style against a striker, essentially, and a guy who is going to want to get this fight to the ground at all costs. And I think that's Ronnie Lawrence right there. Ronnie Lawrence wants to get. He's not going to play around the feet too much long. He's going to put you down. And I see that happening in this fight for sure. All right, so I'm going to go Ronnie Lawrence. Back-to-back chalk plays. I'm not happy with myself, but, I'm picking winners. All right, next up, Alonzo Menifield, minus 110 versus William Knight. Minus 110. Menifield is 9-2. William Knight is 9-1. This is basically who's got a better body contest. Both these guys are fucking jacked. Look at this hair that got come out here. Gross. Both these guys are fucking jacked. Both these guys, I think, are on the average side of 205. William Knight has proved to have some good cardio, considering he is so fucking muscled up. Alonzo Menifield has proved that he does not have good cardio. I have been on Alonzo Menifield. I bought into the hype. I've been on the wrong side of him his past 2 fights. He's dropped 2 in a row. I thought being at Fortis MMA, he was going to get some shit cleaned up with his cardio. Last time out, wasn't the case. William Knight has shown that he's a powerful guy on the feet, but his main course of action is get this fight to the fucking ground and just smother you on the ground. That's what he wants to do. William Knight has been knocked out before. He has been touched before. Wouldn't say he has a chin issue, but he's vulnerable. He's been hit before. He's been rocked before. I understand this line placement. William Knight hasn't fought enough in the UFC and enough higher competition, and Alonzo Menifield has. Both these dudes are ripped up. This is actually a really tough fight for me to pick. I was leaning Menifield most of the week, but I just can't go 0-3 on him. I've literally bet him the last 2 times out, and he's fucking blew up in my face. So, like another fighter in this card, who's won me money, I'm going to fade Menifield. I'm going to go William Knight. I think William Knight, pick him fight. William Knight, I think, is going to be able to out-cardio him and really put a pace on him and try to wrestle. And I don't see it being the most exciting fight. I see William Knight really just clinching, grappling, and then Menifield knows that. Try to stop it if he can. I don't know if he will. He definitely won't be able to do it for 3 rounds. He's going to look to land his bombs. Might be able to do it. That's why it's a pick him. But I see William Knight coming out on the victor here. I'm going to go William Knight on the win here. All right, next up, Alexis Davis versus plus 184 versus Sabina Mazo, minus 230. Mazo jumping up to 135. Someone I've never been impressed with. I was impressed with her in the JJ Aldridge fight where it was a split decision, but it was a really good fight. And then the Justine Kitch fight where she actually got the finish. But when you go to decision with Shannon Dobson, it's rough going. However, Alexis Davis, I believe, is don't talk about a woman's age. Don't talk about a woman's age. 36? She's only 2 years older than me. Damn, I thought she was at least in her 40s. She's lost 3 in a row, but she's fought some studs. Caitlin Chikagian, Jennifer Meyer, Vivian Arduo. Alexis Davis is fought around the Rousey. She's been around forever. I want to take Davis. Here's what's going to happen, okay? I keep records of all my picks, even when it was just me, right? I track my picks. I see what I do at the end of the year. I pick every single fight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick Mazo because I'm a little soft beta boy bitch, okay? I'm going to pick Mazo as the favorite. She's a really high favorite, and I'm going to look at you right now on the camera. Do not bet Sabina Mazo at this price. You're going to be out of your fucking mind if you bet her at this price. She hasn't done anything in the UFC to warrant this. Alexis Davis, who I thought was in her late 40s, is 36 years old. She's been around forever, hasn't fought in a little bit, lost 3 in a row, needs to win here, but 3 in a row against girls who fought for the title, I believe, besides I think Arjudo hasn't fought for the title yet. I'm gonna pick Mazo for just my picks. This is a fight I'm not interested in betting in, but I'd go Davis if I was you. If I'm looking at you, got a bankroll, you're looking for underdogs, go Davis. Don't listen to me. I'm gonna pick Mazo, but go Davis. See what I did there? That didn't make any sense, but it makes sense. Okay. Next up, Alex Oliveira, Cowboy. He is fighting Ramazan. I actually just rewatched his Contender Series fight and try to learn how to say it. Magomedov. I fucking nailed it. Cowboy's actually plus 104. This fight got made this week. Plus 104 underdog, and Ramazan is a minus 128. Ramazan won his UFC his Contender Series against Jordan Williams by split decision. It was a very close fight. Grueling fight. Is he undefeated? Yeah, he's undefeated. That's what I thought. And didn't get the contract off of the Jordan Williams fight. That was back in 2019. That was a while ago. Won by split decision. Was 5-0 at the time. Needed some work from Dagestan. So he's got that Dagestan Sambo background, but he's also training with Sabib, so he does have some really good striking. And he switches stances a lot with Williams. Williams clipped him a few times, and it looked like his cardio suffered a little bit. That worries me coming up on short notice here at 170 because that was when he fought Williams as 185. He looked like Williams is a small 85er. He can't cut weight, but he looked like a pretty good 185er. So I'm interested in seeing him at 70. He has since had 2 fights outside the UFC and has finished both those against a guy who was 5-5. Who cares? And against Trevin Olesen, who was 4-2. So it's not like he's fucking beating world class guys. Cowboy Rivera. This guy's been around forever. He's fought fucking everybody. He's a guy that, kill or be killed type dude. He's going to come out there. He's going to fucking throw some hands. maybe take you down. And then, but if he gets taken down, he gets put on his back. He's gonna throw maybe a triangle. If that doesn't work, it might be curtains for him. He's coming off a loss to Shavak Rachmanin, who was an impressive guy in his debut. Lost by guillotine choke. Before that, he has some nice little wins. He's fought fucking everybody though. Cowboy has. I'm a little surprised at the number. If I'm being completely honest with you, since this fight got together, a lot of people they don't fade Dagestanian dudes. They just don't do it. Vegas. You put a Dagestanian against anybody, they're siding with the Russian. That's just a fact. And that's what we see here. Even though Ramazan, I do think is a very talented guy. He's good on his feet. Kind of hard to hit, but he has been rattled before. Jordan Williams has clipped a few people, but Ramazan's been rattled before. But I'm going to go chalk again. I'm going to go Ramazan. I actually do like this guy's skills. I'm underselling it. If this was made from the beginning, I'd be on Ramazan the entire time. I bet he'd be even a higher favorite. But the fact that it got made this week, it worries me with the cardio and the weight cut. It says on Tapology it's at 170. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of catch weight here. Cowboy Rivera's been around for a long time. He's the plus number here. Small plus number. I wouldn't mind anybody taking a stab at Cowboy because he can win this fight just because he's had a full camp and he's a vet and he hits hard and he can take people down as well. However, Ramazan's last two fights were by submission. I think his path to victory here is to strike a little bit and then eventually get the fight to the ground because that's where Cowboy's the weakest. That's what I'm going to see. Minus 128 is a number I actually like a lot. This is one of the guys I'm actually thinking about betting on. It scares me because of the short notice and the cardio, but this is a guy who, again, I think is pretty talented that could get it done. All right, Alexander Hernandez, fight I'm really looking forward to here. Minus 168 versus Thiago Moises, plus 152. All right. A little drink there. Get the blood going. Alex Hernandez is a guy who I've referred to as a fraud. He came in with a lot of hype, knocking out Benny Dariush. Then he lost the hype. Now it's kind of back because he knocked out Chris Grussmacher, which doesn't make any sense. He's at Colorado. He was in Texas for a while. I believe he's training in Colorado now. He's obviously made improvements to Grussmacher fight. He showed some good stuff. Grussmacher, even though I picked him in that fight, he is what it is. But he has certain improvements. His footwork looked better. He looked less hittable. Didn't really get to see much of his cardio, which I think has been a problem for him. Defense cardio has been his biggest issue. And he cracks a lot. He cracks. He has power. And I don't really think his grappling is necessarily all that great. I don't think he's got to worry about that in this fight. He's going to come out and he's going to stand there Thiago Moises. Thiago Moises, remember, is a guy hit plus 850 on over Bobby Green. This is a guy who I think is a little underrated. He's 14-4. He's really good on the ground. He got completely starched in that first round against Michael Johnson, came back and heel hooked him. But that's the story of Michael Johnson's career. He's winning the fight till he's not. But Thiago Moises, he's got some losses on his record that aren't great. I think he's getting better. He's fighting more active. I think his stand-up is very basic, but I think it's aggressive enough. I think he's going to come forward. I think he's going to want to touch Hernandez. I think he's going to want to really prove to Hernandez or show if Hernandez has really made improvements on his chin, on his defense, on several things. Thiago Moises is a guy like earlier, I had to fade Menifield. I have to back Moises here. I'm going dog. I'm going Thiago Moises as an underdog at plus 152. I see a lot of touts. I see a lot of guys I respect on Twitter. I haven't listened to anything yet, but they're asking questions about how the fuck can Hernandez win. And, how Moises can win, right? Because it looks like a bad style matchup. Hernandez can dictate if the fight goes to the ground. It's going to stay up on the feet. I think Moises is, again, not the most technically sound guy in the world, but I think he's aggressive enough that he could clip Hernandez. I think it goes to the ground. It could be a problem. Thiago is really good on the ground, especially if this fight goes longer. If Hernandez can't get him out in their first round, which is really the only time we see Hernandez win. He's went decisions before and has gotten some home time cooking, in my opinion, or he's going out of the second round, got out of the first round, and he's lost. So I'm going to go Thiago Moises just based on the number and the fact that he's won me money in the past. I can't fade him. I'm going to fucking ride with him, right? And this is a guy that I will bet. This is one of the bets I will be making. I don't think I'm going to go crazy on this card, like I said at the top of the show, but this is a guy who has won me money in the past. So let's just keep riding the hot hand. You never walk from the table on the heater, and I'm at Thiago Moises' table, baby. All right, Alexis Caceres, 17-12. Minus 245 versus Kevin Croom, plus 194. This line to me is absolutely fucking absurd. How Bruce Leroy, Alex Caceres is a minus 245 against anybody is crazy. He's on a 3-fight win streak, but over who? Kevin Croom's a guy, made his UFC debut on like 2 days notice or 24 hours notice, fought Roosevelt Roberts, clipped him, choked him out, and then got busted for pot or something like that, weed, some bullshit, and they got it overturned, which is horrible. He had to return the bonus too. This is a guy who's been around forever. He's 21-12. He fought Gaethje early in his career. He got slammed on his fucking head and knocked out, but he's fought a lot of people. He's 21-12. He's been around for a while. Made his UFC debut not too long ago. Usually on my system, guys with double-digit losses that make their UFC debut late usually don't pan out all that well. They just don't, right? And this is a spot where everyone's on Croom. Plus 194. He's the darling. I guarantee that line has gone down since I did this. He was over 200 a couple days ago. Everyone's going to go Croom because, how is Caceres going to win this? Caceres has been exposed on the ground. So either you're going to go with the crowd or you're going to go opposite. I'm going with the crowd, baby. I'm going Kevin Croom here. Just the number. It's crazy. Vegas is paying Caceres too much respect. I know Vegas likes action. I know they like vets, and I know they like guys on win streaks. And Caceres could get it done. We all could be shitting on Caceres here. He can go out there, and he does have fancy striking. He just doesn't have the craziest power. I think Kevin Croom is aggressive, and I think he could if he gets the fight to the ground, it could be a problem here. This is a full camp, too. We don't get to see him on 24 hours notice. It's a full camp. I think he's going to push the pace here, and we'll see. We'll see. I'm interested to see how this fight plays out, but if you're giving me plus 194 against Alex Caceres, I'm going to take it. I've been around long enough. I'm going to take it. Okay? I don't care who you are. I'm going to take it. I mean, Alex Caceres was the underdog to Chase Hooper. So let's remember that. All right, next up, Angela Hill versus Ashley Yoder. Angela Hill is a minus 245 favorite. Ashley Yoder is a plus 285 underdog. I hate this fight. I hate this fight. This fight came together. Angela Hill, I love. I have recommended guys, girls, whoever listens to this podcast to go follow her on Twitter. She's fantastic on Twitter, without question. However, she got buried by Tecia Torres, who I'm not a fan of. Tecia Torres posted a thing of Ashley Hill's like, why don't you accept the fight, blah, 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 and freaking Tecia Torres bodied her. She's fighting Ashley Yoder here, a girl who I've had ups and downs with. She's not the most impressive record, but when you're looking at the line, Angela Hill is so favorite. And you know what? I think I wrote this line wrong. I think Angela Hill is bigger. I think Angela Hill is actually 375. Ignore this 245 right here. I'm taking it off screen just so you guys don't see it. Angela Hill's a 375 favorite. Excuse me. I wrote down Caceres' number when I did the thing. Doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going Ashley Yoder. Angela Hill has a problem with getting taken down, has a problem with getting kind of roughed up. I think she's tremendously skilled. I think she's working on stuff off her back. I think she's working off her defensive wrestling. I think she's working on a lot of things. However, Ashley Yoder isn't the best wrestler, isn't the best striker, but she's fucking scrappy. She's going to get in there and she's going to get in your face. This is going to go to a decision, and this is going to be a very close decision. And I don't want to be on the right or wrong side of any of this. You don't want to bet Angela Hill at minus 375. You just don't. You don't want to be on that side. You want to be on Yoder at plus 285, put a little in the pot, maybe get a little bit back, right? There's nothing wrong with putting 20, 40 in and getting 80 back. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? So keep that in mind when you're placing your bets at the window. Because I hate this fight, but I like the line with Yoder. I'm surprised they made it this wide. But you got to go Yoder here just based on the number. I think it's outrageous. All right, next up, fight that I'm looking forward to the most besides, is this the fight I'm looking forward to the most? Besides the co-main event. Pedro Munhoz is a plus 120 underdog. He's fighting Jimmie Rivera, who is minus 148. Rematch, Pedro Munhoz is 18-5. Jimmie Rivera is 23-4. This is starting to bother me here because this fight got made a while ago. Rivera plus a positive, they did it. I don't know if I actually picked it on the podcast or not, if I broke it down and gave it to you. I think I might have. I was on Munhoz, right? And I still am. Okay? So let's get something out of the way first.
Be a dog. We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats. We need more dogs.
This is my underdog lock of the night. Here's my issue. Everyone is on Rivera. What am I missing? What am I missing in this? I've watched tape on both these guys this week. This is a fight that I was really eager to bet because it's a very close line. Not many people are split on it, though. Most people like Rivera. What am I missing here? I think Pedro Munhoz, who's lost 2 in a row, is at 3 in a row. Because I think he's a very good fighter. So he's lost 2 in a row. Frankie and Aljamain. Frankie, that was a tough one. He could have won that. But 2 in a row. Rivera's on a nice little winning streak. Rivera, ever since getting knocked out by Marlon Moraes, has tried to kind of play it safe a little bit, right? Got a win over John Dodson. Got just completely shut out against Aljamain. Got a competitive fight, got dropped Jan in the fight or hurt Jan in the fight, but got dropped himself in that fight. And then beat Cody Stamen, which is a good win. Rivera's a guy who is really quick in and out, right? Doesn't love staying in the pocket, doesn't like getting hit, has had some chin problems in the past. I've seen him get put on his butt, seen him get knocked out, but he's in and out, likes to wrestle, likes to mix some things up. I think his game is really good. I think he's incredibly fast. But when I look at Pedro Munhoz, I think Pedro Munhoz is a guy who's fought. They both have fought really good competition, but Pedro Munhoz, I feel like just on paper and from my eyes is just better. He maybe doesn't have the cleanest boxing in the world, but he's training with that like Brazilian boxing champ, whatever. It's getting better. He's got a great chin. He's got a good jab. He's lights out on the ground. Not many people want to go to the ground with him. He's got good fucking guillotine chokes. He's got good sweeps off his back and he's a problem on the ground. I don't see Jimmie Rivera really wanting to go to the ground with him. I see him maybe want to mix it up a little bit, but I don't know. I think it's going to be a close fight. I think it's going to be play on the feet. I think you got the speed for Rivera, but I think Pedro's got the power. I think Pedro can clip him and knock him out just because I've seen Jimmie be vulnerable before. He's been clipped and he's been hurt. I mean, there's just not much more else to say. Yeah, I'm sticking with Munhoz. He's my underdog lock. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm missing, right? I like going opposite the crowd at times. I like being on, it's when you're in the capper game. Again, I'm not a paid tout. I won't ever charge my picks. But when you're in the capper game and you put your picks out there and you're trying to build a brand like I'm doing, it's really nice to be on the side of the winning side when everyone else is on that side. However, it does give me pause of like, what am I missing here, right? Because there are guys that outwork me. I'm not going to sit here and tell you. I'm just a pretty face with a good personality, guys. There are cappers out there who literally only watch. They don't have 2 kids. They don't work a job. They fucking literally sit in front of a computer and they watch fights all day long. And they fucking hustle and they work. And they're picking Rivera. But I've always said my instincts and stuff are better. And I've actually watched tape on Rivera and Munhoz this week. And I just feel like Munhoz is the better fighter. I just don't know what I'm missing. I don't know. It scares me. All right, next up, Montana De La Rosa, one of the best names in all of MMA. Montana De La Rosa, plus 112 versus Marabuno Silva. First things first, I'm going to say it every time. Montana De La Rosa is a beautiful girl. And that's all I'm going to say, okay? And then Maria Bruno Silva, she's talented. She's got some good submissions, one loss in UFC. Solid girl. Montana De La Rosa is a girl who's going to want to get you to ground. She's wrestling primarily. Has some wins in the UFC, but against Maria Barella, who kind of stinks, and then has a loss to Andrea Lee, and then Nadia Kasim, who I don't even know. I don't even know if she's in the UFC anymore. And, she's lost to Nico Montoya. She's coming off loss of Vivian Jewel. Montana De La Rosa, I feel like she's been around for a while, but she's just seems like not getting any better. You know what I mean? She has one path to victory, and that's decision. She's not a great striker. She's not a submission threat. I want to go chalk here, I want to go underdog here because it's a women's fight, and this is so close to being a bowl spaghetti fight, but I do think both women are skilled. Montana De La Rosa has fought a lot of women. She's very tough. She's durable. Silva, though, I think is just a more complete fighter, even though she has less fights. She's 7-1, has that loss to Marina Moroz. Other than that, she's finishing people with armbar. She's aggressive. She's talented on the ground. Montana De La Rosa does her best work on the ground. So I'm going to go Silva here. I think I'm going to go Silva chalk at minus 138. I don't hate that play. I actually kind of love that play. It's a buyable line. I will not be betting this fight, though, just because I'm stuck on March 6th, and I'm trying to save my bankroll. But if you're a degenerate gambler and you want to paint the card, you're looking at Silva here for sure. All right, next up, co-main event fight that's really good. Nikita Krylov plus 270 versus Magomed Ankaleav minus 355. Ankaleav is 14-1. Nikita Krylov is 27-7. This is a classic shit the bed matchup. Nikita Krylov's been around for a long time. He's got some really good wins over people. Fancies himself a striker, but he's more well-rounded than that. He probably will take the fight to the ground, or at least try to. Magomed Ankaleav hasn't shown much ground game since his Paul Craig fight. He took Paul Craig down every second of that fight until he got triangled and got tired. That was his only blemish in the UFC, his only blemish in his MMA career. He's rebounded well. I think his striking is lights out. I think his left straight's fantastic. I like when he switches stances. I like his knockout power. I like his kicks. I like his confidence. Nikita Krylov, though, he's an old vet. He's been around for a long time. He's durable. He's tough. I can see him wanting to get a little fucking dirty in there, right? I can see him want to fucking get in there and, clinch it up. I don't know if my voice just made a weird noise. Sorry about that. This fight excites me. He's going to want to clinch it up. He's going to try to take it down. I think Ankaleav knows that. I want to see this fight go a little bit. I'm very high on Ankaleav. I think a lot of people have crowned this guy the dark horse of 205. He's ranked number 10. I think this catapults him. I mean, he's fighting number 9 guy. Obviously, this is going to catapult him to like 8 or 7 if he wins, in my opinion. But the Paul Craig fight is the biggest ugly sore. I want to see him go 2-3 rounds at a high pace. I want to see how his cardio is, because he's knocking everybody out, and maybe that confidence could ruin you. Maybe it could help you. But I want to see him. I want to see him go a little longer. That's what I want. I want to see him go a little longer, and I'm picking Nikita Krylov. It was whoa, Brian. I'm not picking Nikita Krylov. I'm picking Magomed Ankaleav, and he's my mortal lock. Boom, book it, baby. He's extremely high. Minus 355 is not what I wanted to see. I wanted him to be under 300, if I'm being realistic, but people are all over this guy. Money's coming in on this guy. I understand it. I get it. But I wanted him a little lower. So I don't know if I can bet him, but I'm confident in him. I'm confident in him. He's going to get it done. Krylov's going to make this ugly. I'm going to bank on the fact that Ankaleav has fixed the Paul Craig fight from a million years ago. All right, here we go. Next up, main event, baby. Jairzinho. I fucking can pronounce his name. Why not? Here we go. Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Strike, whatever. Plus 220 versus Ciryl Gane. It's Gane, not gone yet. Gane, minus 280. First and foremost, hate this line. Do not know why Gane is this high. And I think he should be the favorite. But I think if I'm handicapping this fight, if I'm setting the line in Vegas, I know you're trying to get two-way action, but I'm going Gane minus 195. Right? That's the highest as I'm going to go. Right? And if money comes in, let him go over 200. He is more impressive specimen. He's the guy that, a lot of people like. I like him, right? Jairzinho Rozenstruik, I think, has knockout power, but I think his technique's a little weak. If you watch the slow-mo of the Francis fight with him, Francis just threw from his hip. And Rozenstruik, who is a kickboxing champion, did kickboxing for MMA, could have just sat in that pocket and countered with something. Like, he hit Francis with a counter, but it was like off balance, and he was like way up here. And like, if you really break down his striking, I just don't think it's like super world class. Ciryl Gane, another kickboxer coming over. I think his striking is world class. I think it's ever improving. I think his straight punches are really good. His shot selection is really good. And unlike Rozenstruik, I feel like he's involving more in MMA. He's got a ground game. He's got some submissions under his belt. Rozenstruik, big ground game question mark. He's got that one ugly loss of Francis. I think he definitely was losing to Overeem besides that last shot. But other than that, he hasn't really fought anybody that's like blowing me away. His UFC debut against Diaper Baby got taken down quite a bit and worked his way to defeat and then knocked him out. I think Ciryl Gane here is going to take the fight to the ground. And I think he's going to, and I think a submission could happen. I also think this fight might not be that great. I think it's going to be two heavy-handed guys that respect each other. And I think they're going to be a little afraid to pull the trigger because I think Rozenstruik is going to want to wait on Gane, and Gane might want to wait on Rozenstruik. No one's really going to lead the dance. I could be wrong on that. I hope I'm wrong on that. But I'm going to go Gane. I'm going to go Gane as a minus 280 favorite. I don't love it, but he is going to be my... Get him out of here. He's going to be my send him home, baby.
Send him home. Send him home
Johnny
early.
Anik. I think he's going to get it done. I think he'll take Rozenstruik out with a submission is one of my bet. If you noticed, I did not talk any props on this card. I've been doing that a lot lately. I've been mixing props in with the pick'ems, which is what I probably should do. I'm going to try something new this week. I always do a prop show on Friday with Tim. He does the DFS. I do the props. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to maybe save it for Friday. If you don't like that, if you rather me talk props while we do the pick'ems, that's fine. I do have some props here. That is one that I'm going to give out on Friday, a Ciryl Gane by submission. I don't know the line in front of me right now, but I kind of want the Friday show to be, I want people to join in and chat up. And once we start building this thing, just have a conversation and we'll build bets together. That's the beauty about this. I'm good, but I can use some help. You know what I mean? All right, that's the show. Fights this Saturday. All I'm thinking about is a 6, guys. All I'm thinking about. I kind of sleptwalked through this card. I apologize if this was not a great show. I feel like I got some winners in there. We'll see. I'm excited about the fights. I'm gonna watch every fight like I love it, but my mind is on the 6. I can't get past the 6 right now. That card is really good. That's my Italian accent. All right, that's the show. Thank you for listening. Subscribe on YouTube while you're watching this. MMA Takes Podcast on YouTube. This is where you're watching this now. I'm looking at you, camera. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, all that shit, whatever the YouTubers say. Also, iTunes, go rate and review. I need more rates and reviews. Please, I'm at 24, need 25. Next podcast, I'll talk about how I feel like I got fleeced out of a t-shirt. I might have got scammed. I'll talk about it. Next podcast, maybe. Yeah, we'll talk about it. All right, see ya.